Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I'm unboxing Lenovo's ThinkPad X1 Fold 16. Now, this is a first generation product that Lenovo actually teased a year ago. And finally, here in 2024, really the end of 2023, even though we are in 2024 now, Lenovo started shipping this product. And I'm really excited to share it with all of you. Of course, it is essentially an upgrade in every single way from the original X1 Fold that you're looking at now, which had a 13.3-inch display, incredibly innovative at the time, folded down to this book-style device, had, of course, an OLED touchscreen, pen input, and it was a great starting point, but it did leave a lot to be desired. One of its coolest things was that with its included keyboard, you could just drop it on, turn it into a clamshell device, and, well, this was yet another great element of this product. But this display was a little bit too small for really getting work done, in my opinion. Plus, all of the hardware here in Gen 1, it wasn't experimental, but it was the first generation of folding devices. So now here, you're about to see a 16.3-inch version that has really been reimagined. Let me go over specifications. Pricing for this particular model, over $4,000 US, $4396.99 to be exact. But this is through CDW. If you go through Lenovo, once they do carry this particular model, I imagine it will be discounted over time. So under the hood, we've got an Intel Core i7-1260U processor. We have 32 gigs of RAM, a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD. We do have an IR webcam. We have Thunderbolt 4 on board, 2 ports, and the 16.3-inch OLED that you're going to see, again, touchscreen, also pen input capable, is 2560 by 2024 res. So let's go ahead and get this thing out of the box, because I know that's what everyone, myself included, has been waiting for. And it's just a really exciting product to finally get in hand here in the studio. It's something I was waiting for, again, a really long time. And I do, want to point out we have some competition here in the marketplace. If this is what you're after, Asus has a model, as does HP. But the one thing I can tell you about Lenovo's product, even though I have yet to even touch it, right? You're looking at the unboxing process, is that it is the most affordable, as I mentioned, product of its kind. And I would venture to say that it likely also will have the best keyboard in this product class. So let's go ahead and see what we're working with. First things first, our power brick right here. That is going to be, I believe, a 65-watt adapter. And it is. So Lenovo with a slightly retooled version of their 65-watt brick. Basically the same size, just a little bit different in design. And of course, the wall adapter that comes with that and some other little goodie in there. Moving right along, let's get to this 100% recycled material-based foldable machine. And again, I'm really excited because this, to me, is the future of mobile computing. But the beauty here is that it's also the present, because we've got it in the studio. And I know that this is going to be a game changer. They've redesigned the keyboard for this, so I think that's going to be one of the critical elements that you're going to see here. And again, this model now folds down completely flat, unlike the previous generation that you see right there, which was not capable of essentially a flush fold. The new model is. I do not anticipate that we're going to see a crease either, because that was part of the beauty of this product in Gen 1, was that I knew that Samsung, if they ever put their minds to it, they could make a creaseless unit. And now we know they always were able to also give us not only a creaseless unit, but a gapless unit, which is what Sammy has done first. Well, looks like I got to just tear this open, and let's get down to it. Already looking pretty spicy. So here it is, backside. They moved away from the leather in Gen 1, which I don't really care. I just want the competent product here. but I like the fit and finish on this. Little Lenovo rubber textured branding here. ThinkPad over here, same deal. I like that. Pretty nice. vPro certification sticker, just a reminder right there. Let's flip it over. Even though I already got some fingerprints on it, wow. I mean, this is, some people will call this a tablet. It is not a tablet. I mean, of course, you can use it as one. That's definitely part of the premise. But this is really all about having a convertible that is truly a convertible, in my mind. They've repositioned the camera a little bit, and it just feels really nice. I'm looking for the crease here. Tell me if you see it. I mean, I'm giving you some angles here. It looks really, really clean. And so just like with the previous generation, I'll go ahead and flip this around, point it towards myself, the keyboard that you're about to see, you can also pocket on the machine. The beauty here is that they've totally redesigned what the experience is going to look and feel like with this keyboard. So you can see the keyboard now comes with this frame kickstand that you're about to see in a moment. They're also letting you know you've got a track pointer in the middle of the machine. But that's like a Lenovo, I should say, ThinkPad signature forever. But here are all the different positions you can put that in. So portrait, landscape. They're telling you portrait's ideal for video conferencing. That's because it's going to put the camera where it needs to be for video conferencing, because it's located here, which is actually the side of the machine. So keep that in mind. And then the clamshell mode, if you want a traditional laptop experience, it will deliver that, which I really like. This is what makes it a true convertible. And then when you want it to be, an over 16-inch display portably, which is great, but with such a small footprint, you have that with this new one, this new keyboard, I should say. So let's go ahead and pop it open. The whole idea was that Lenovo wanted to make this travel better and not be as hodgepodged or, pieced together. And from what I've seen, this does accomplish that. So first and foremost, that keyboard, which now is actually the same keyboard from the X1 Nano to my understanding. So this is already a big upgrade. If you didn't like the idea of that compact keyboard that came with the first gen X1 Fold in that 13-inch capacity, now you've got a much more legitimate keyboard. This just attaches, by the way, magnetically, or I should say it also detaches. And now we've got it in the clamshell mode, which is going to be your traditional laptop experience. And, just seems really logical to me. Really nice looking. And then this guy is the kickstand. So essentially, you just saw it was attached to the keyboard. If we had this behind the machine, this would just prop it up like this. And we're going to get there. I'm going to show you that. Even though it's my first time handling it, you better believe we're going to make it happen. So without any other delay, I'm going to power this up, but I also want to show you the ports, the I/O. So let's do that quickly. It's just really amazing that products like this exist. And, HP and Asus, those are your competing brands. And yes, this does have a 12th gen processor, but from a value proposition, even though no one would ever think there's a value proposition with foldables like this, as I've mentioned, Lenovo is going to be your best bet. And build quality here is just excellent. I have to say, this is just such a radical change from the previous gen. It's as if they totally abandoned that mock-up and rebuilt this from the ground up. The hinge very much reminds me of my Samsung Fold. That's a good thing. We have one Type-C port there, which I'm trying to see. That is one of your two Thunderbolt 4 ports. Speaker array, I believe, right there. Another Thunderbolt 4 port right there at my thumb, trying my best to give you this tour. And then as we come around the machine, you can see these are dual microphone array, your volume rocker right there. And then on this side of the machine, we have the power button and another Type-C port, which I believe is only a 3.2 Gen 2 port. Not that that's too shabby. Another speaker. And then you've got that hinge, which is literally a match to my Fold. Let me grab my Fold and just, you can see that. So great minds think alike. I like the direction Lenovo's going in. And remember, this is the gapless Fold, much like my phone. So smart stuff they've done here all around. It's all going to be about how this thing performs. Now remember, this does have the Core i7. It is a 12th gen chip. It does have 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM. I believe it was DDR5. And 1 terabyte NVMe, Wi-Fi 6E. So it is loaded. It is fully stacked as much as a machine like this could be. So let's go ahead and power it on finally. I know many of you have been waiting. Hopefully it has a little bit of a charge here. So I'm going to open it up. And let's go ahead and hit that power button, the elusive power button. It is powering on. So we'll see how this scales this. And again, this pockets here, right? That's the idea, as you just saw. So you can leave it like that, and basically this is how you're going to posture this. You're either going to do a large vertical orientation like that, or you're going to pop it off. Really nice display, I can tell you that right now. And you're going to go into an orientation like this. And the portrait, as I mentioned before, is the orientation you need to be in for video conferencing, simply because of the webcam being located here. And I mentioned it is IR, so you'll want to rotate this so it's front and center. The trackpad, considerably larger here. And then, of course, you can actually remove this. It doesn't need to be anywhere near this, so that's another nice feature. It just seems like a very nice little piece of hardware. There is still a power button, as you can see if I can bring it in frame here, right there, as well as a charging port for the keyboard. That is Type-C. The previous generation was micro USB, so that's a bigger upgrade than you might think. And it looks like the keyboard, unfortunately, is dead out of the box, but let me go ahead and plug it in and just see if we immediately sync up, and we probably will, and we do. So there you can see I am moving the mouse. Congratulations on that front. So we got to charge this guy up. And then the pen, I am also imagining we're going to have to charge up since the keyboard is dead. But, we'll find out. So yeah, it doesn't seem to be functioning presently. It looks like I will have to charge it. But this is a really, really impressive device. I have no better way of putting it right now. Just looking at it, the fact that I've unfolded a 16.3-inch canvas for work, play, because I do plan on testing it to see how it performs for that. Also, battery life should be vastly improved. And they even have an additional battery that you can outfit this with beyond I believe it's a 48 watt-hour battery they've stuffed into this. So really impressive stuff for such a lightweight 16.3-inch full-featured machine that is basically just a slate that happens to be able to fold. Now, again, today was just an unboxing and a first look. The display looks great. It is a gloss finish. How you're going to want to use this is really going to be a matter of personal preference. There are a lot of you out there that love the whole, portrait experience. I personally would probably find myself using it in landscape predominantly, like a regular laptop. But there are going to be some people that I think will actually enjoy using it in this capacity. And the cool part about the stand it's on right now is that that's about as far as the range goes. So I've dropped it down as, low as it can go, but that kickstand will get, fairly grippy and will hold position however you want to set it up. But again, to me, the realistic way to be using this is, the way you would expect a traditional display landscape orientation. And it's still very much a square for anyone wondering, but this is a lot of real estate to be able to pull out of your bag that breaks down so easily. And let's go over the breakdown, and then I'm going to close out some final thoughts as that falls back. So when you break this down, you're going to just close it like I just did, right? Just collapse that. Go ahead and attach the keyboard to that like this. So it just magnetically attaches on. And so now, even though I need to charge this more, you have everything right here, right? And you're going to just place this on top of this. That at least is the premise. And now you've got everything ready to go. So it does get thicker, don't kid yourself, but still just, breathe that in. This is dynamically, I think, cleaner than, what we had here, which was really a piecemeal. I mean, it was a first-gen product, first of its kind on Earth. But this whole built-in leather flap thing, it was pretty cockamamie. It was better than nothing. I'm just glad that they've retooled it top to bottom instead of a leather wrap like this, which literally was the protection for internals to some degree, because this was, glued on. You could not remove this. I just like what this has become. It also definitely exudes Lenovo's design language at present, and it just feels really well made. It's not that the previous Gen 1 didn't feel well made. This just feels like a completely different machine, and I happen to like it a lot more. And I already liked the X1 quite a bit. And then the last guy that comes into the conversation, which is another Lenovo product, of course, is the Yoga Book. Because this still is really the best product of its kind in its class. And I guess the question becomes, do you want a machine like this that opens up to give you two displays, or are you more partial to the foldable single display? But of course, that's going to be a question I will attempt to answer for all of you that are, well, in the market making that choice. Do you want the 13, the 16, or, of course, the dual display Yoga 9i book? That is really the question. Of course, this would be your most affordable option. And for some of you, it'll be also a more productive one because you actually want two separate displays. For those of you who don't physically need two separate displays, but love the concept of two machines in one because of the clamshell, and then of course the desktop, I'll call it, mode orientation, that's where the X1 Fold is simply unbeatable. But we'll see what performance is like. And that is where I will get back to all of you. This is also supposed to be upgradable, part of the major design haul from the X1 13. But that rounds out today's unboxing and first look. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. Hit that like button. And as usual, please feel free to subscribe and please stay safe. Later.